Going into 2024, what was the global construction market valued at? Was it A, 4.3 trillion, B, 15.4 trillion, C, 10.8 trillion, or D, 7.2 trillion in dollars?
I'm going to go D.
B for me.
The only way I can win now is to be right when you're wrong, so I go C.
The answer was B, 15.4.
Wow.
Yes. China, I think we discussed this on the episode. China.
Yeah, I'm
makes
pretty
up-
sure we've given this stat before, actually.
Yeah. And I was seeing if you'd remembered. China's industry accounts to $4.8 trillion of that 15.4, which is making up almost a third by itself, which is
Cool.
mind-boggling.
Welcome back to the Offsite Podcast, everybody. Final episode of 2024. Thank fuck, did we all say? No, it's been a good year. Again, I'm Jason Lancini, joined with Carlos Cavallo and guest host with the most, Sam Hanish. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Righto. So we've got something different we're going to do. We're going to start to look back at the year, and we are going to make some predictions. And then apparently there's some form of quiz at the end just for some lighthearted entertainment. But yeah, we're going to look back at some of the biggest things that happened in the year. And then we are going to make some wild but educated predictions for 2025 so we can then look back and at how right or wrong we were. How's everyone's week been? Carlos, you're in London. Sam, you're in Brisbane.
Oh, it's been a good week. I was going to ask you how your ice skating went. There was an incident, wasn't there?
There was an incident, but there was someone that I won't describe in the same way that I did to you earlier, purposely skating in front of people, doing a little skid and skating away. I think I tried to kick him at one point.
Nice.
So, yeah. I won't repeat any of the language I use when I normally describe that story, but no. It was good fun, though. Somerset House, ice rink, Dishoom curry, nice classic.
So romantic.
Nice.
It was so romantic. Yeah.
That was good. And yours is tomorrow, right?
Yeah, company Christmas event. We didn't go with a romantic ice skating and dinner combo. Over in Oz, we're going boat trip and barbecue.
I heard the UK team got new black hoodies, so I wonder what we're getting tomorrow. It's probably going to be pretty good.
Ken togs, some black togs.
Yeah, Apex togs. That's not bad.
Sam, you'll get a free subscription to Apex for the next year.
Yeah.
That's the gift.
Well, the price is going up, so that's worth a bit more.
Yeah,
right?
That's it. Oh no, let's dive straight into it. So I guess looking back at the year, there's definitely a lot that has happened in construction, contech, around the world. We've talked in weeks throughout the year about some like big changes, mergers, acquisitions, some things going bankrupt, some things starting up. A lot of funding in the technology space. So yeah, I guess let's start off the bat. We're going to go around the horn with the first topic on the list is the most impactful construction news of the year. So a super broad topic, could relate from anything from a project news to maybe something software related or technology related. What's the biggest thing that shaped construction, in your mind, in the last year? Who wants to go first? I'm going to just call out Carlos first, I think.
Nice. There was a couple. The bad thing about this section is everything that I could think of was quite negative. So it's not exactly Christmassy, because there was obviously the ISG, huge story here. To put a positive spin on that, I was actually with an ops director from Mace last night, and we've
just picked up a shitload of work. Is that what that's the positive spin?
No, but they've not just picked up the work, but they're retaining the
people
staff
as well.
So It's a nice win-win, because there's people that really need jobs securing full-time employment. And obviously Mace get the retention of like information and experience on those projects for continuity. So yeah, that's really nice. I think
Slight
something
bad
like
news for
within
the shareholders
first-
of ISG, but everyone else is winning, which is good.
yeah. I think he said something like within the first month they hired 100 full-time employees from ISG
Yeah,
jobs.
right.
So
Wow. Okay.
quite a decent effort.
Yeah.
But the biggest, I'd still say, and I think it's just because it grinds my gears a bit, which is the HS2 finishing at Birmingham. So for context for anyone who hasn't been reading the news for the last year, HS2 was about connecting the sort of main cities or hubs within the UK. The main ones being London, Birmingham, Manchester. The cost spiraled into I think it was nearing 150 billion as the estimate to complete. And they ultimately cancelled everything north of Birmingham. So all it is now is it's 15 minutes faster to go from London to Birmingham for what is still 60 billion pounds or something like that. A very frustrating bit of news, especially as they had started enabling works north of Birmingham. An odd decision because you're going to have to do it at some point and it's not going to be cheaper later. And the whole idea that we're connecting the north and the south is completely destroyed. So I think they're just kicking the can down the road. Obviously, huge impact to industry because it would have employed a hell of a lot of people. But in the last month or two, we've seen some news stories around consortiums of contractors. And I think the mayor of Manchester getting together and trying to come up with a cost-efficient way to re-kickstart some sort of connection between Birmingham and Manchester. So hopefully there's a light in the end of the tunnel. Not to put a pun in there.
Is it one of those things though that it'll happen? It's just it's a matter of when, and the funding will come. They're just going to finish it short.
I think it has to at some point. And Manchester seems to be growing pretty quickly. There are major schemes going on there now, so at some point they've got to have a decent connection between the two. I think it's just purely a budgetary thing from government, rather than we don't need this.
Connecting HS2, connecting London and somewhere slightly further north, as opposed to the north.
Yeah.
Sam, what was on your radar?
For me, when it was like most impactful, I'm always thinking about big projects, and just I think the Neon project and how it's been on the cards for a while and under development, but I think there's always these grand schemes, but it seemed to be entering more into some level of reality. And just I guess there was a lot of news that came out about it. I think it's great. Like we're at this point now where these projects can exist and there's interested parties. I think we're sort of stretching now. It's like a level of investment. There's the technical ability to build these things, but now it's just a matter of time, money, investment. So I think it's pretty incredible when you see these projects that are happening in, a part of the world that neither of us are from. But it's happening. To what degree? It's been culled down a lot, but
well, a few hours before we recorded this we're recording this Thursday, 12th of December. The Kingdom just announced after opening the Riyadh Metro last week, I think it was last week, they just announced another 20 billion euro extension to the Riyadh Metro, including a seventh line. So the ambition or at least the stated ambition knows no bound yet at the moment.
And did they just win they picked up the World Cup, didn't they?
2034 World Cup has just been formally announced, which includes that the stadium that's suspended at the top of the line, which we were discussing a few months back. Yeah, they've got 10 years to build the line to include the stadium.
I think, we're going to do predictions in a sec, but I'm interested to see what people's predictions are for that going forward.
Do you not think there's something great about like having these sorts of projects out there where you can sort of push the technical capability of what you can do in engineering? There's a limit to what we can do in places where you've got the red tape like you do in Oz and the UK. So when you look at it, it looks like straight out of a sci-fi. So for me, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you got to take your hat off to people that have the ambition and drive to do something unique and different. 100%. Yeah, awesome. To circle to myself, I had one, but then I thought it was like kind of obvious, but maybe not obvious. But I think the most impactful news for me was the spate of announcements from the hyperscalers, AWS, Microsoft, Google Cloud, of investments in power generation related to data centers. This kind of links a little bit to predictions, but I think that is going to unlock a wave of nuclear project investment going forward. I think it's going to be the AI thing is going to drive a whole energy thing that is going to be a dominant theme for the construction industry over the coming years.
You just killed my predictions section.
That's it. Got to get an early. I didn't want to wait till then. I've got an underrated bit of news just because I thought that one might be taken from someone, but I don't know if anyone's
going to take someone else's.
Yeah, no, I'll do all the good ones. But I don't know if anyone's been following the story and the conversation about Javier Milei and what has happened in Argentina. Where they effectively attempted to and appears successfully crush hyperinflation in the country. And as part of that, when taking power, they slashed the public's work budget by 93%. The National Highways Directorate, as in the government highways department that's in charge of building infrastructure, the budget was reduced by 75%. And overall infrastructure spending in the country decreased by 74%. And there's a lot of conversations happening around the world about how that's a model for the future for a lot of countries, and holding up what's happened there as this amazing gold standard. And I wonder whether that starts to normalize what is some pretty drastic difference of approach in terms of investing in all government budgets, but including infrastructure.
Are they hoping it goes private? Or are they just we don't need roads?
I think the first bit was we don't have the money. And then after they got past the we don't have the money bit, then it's maybe there's someone will build a road that's, you'll just be toll roading. You'll be driving around. Argentina.
China walks in.
Just ping, 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 ping. Every road's a toll road.
It's a bit early, isn't it, to make a call whether it's success? Because it's drop the inflation down, but what's the knock-on effect of stopping investment in these things?
It's like if you own a house, you can if you for a year go, I'm not going to invest in maintaining it at all. You're awesome. This is great. This is fucking awesome. I'm saving so much money. Do that for 4 years in a row. It's I don't have a house anymore. But so I think.
Side note, did you see when he got a little miniature statue of himself with a chainsaw and he gave it to the Italian Prime Minister?
No, I didn't. But I
have you seen this photo of him and he's got a chainsaw? This guy's South American Trump. He's it's nuts. It's so funny.
But I wonder whether I don't think anyone's going to do to that amount, but I wonder whether that normalizes the behavior or conversation in countries. The result of that cutting and pausing meant a total shit show in terms of arguments with contractors. They owe contractors in the country $400 million currently because of projects that they just straight up stopped and didn't pay them for.
That sounds like one project we'd fuck up here in Australia. It's not too bad.
This is the guy that he seeks counsel from his dogs that he cloned, right?
Okay, let's just slide a quick allegedly in for there.
No. It's really well documented that he actually thinks he can talk to his two Mastiff dogs. I heard this on a podcast.
But I just want anyone listening when it comes to litigation that I said allegedly, and Carlos is the one that is.
No, I'm going to back that statement all day long.
Okay. Righto. Well, we're coming back to you, Carlos. So the next question or the next prediction, next question or in the year. So let's reflect on the most impactful construction technology news in the year from your perspective.
I was going to talk about Document Crunch, but realized I'll come across like a huge fanboy. I think the conversation we had around the market or the category that we're in is quite significant. Obviously, it's the category that we know extremely well, being in it, but there's been a lot of investment in products in a similar space. There's been a lot of investment from the big software houses like Autodesk and Procore within that sort of delivery team, construction team, planning space and field applications. So it's an exciting time in terms of it's validation for a category, and it's validation that there's legs in terms of the whole sort of concept behind delivery team led ownership of a plan and coordinating activities on a daily basis. So yeah, I thought that was the most exciting news, not just because we're sort of in it, but it is a shift in traditional construction jobs and how they used to operate, where the planner owned the plan, and that's how it worked, and everyone was governed by that plan.
I'm interested that you started by saying I'm not going to talk about document crunch, but like you obviously wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
By saying,
but there's literally no decent tools for QS.
I'm not going to say how awesome I am, so I'll just talk about how like good the second thing was on the list.
So yeah, document crunch and our own category.
Okay, cool. Two thing Carlos wants
That's
for Christmas. All right, Sam.
It'd have to be the milestone feature update we dropped in. No, it was. I would say. I think I was sort of trying to round it down into one thing, and I didn't want to chew into what I like future predictions. So I think what I've been seeing is that external to construction, it feels for a few years now, there's been huge advancements in things like drone technology for one instance, and AI for another, but not specifically to those, but just other facets that weren't specifically tailored for construction. Like construction wasn't what they were developed for. So for instance, the capacity now for 3D modeling and from like doing drone scans and then taking that data to create digital twins is that technology was advanced for other reasons, but all these things are now sort of drifting towards construction. So I think what's been really interesting to see is there's so many more players that are bringing this sort of established tech and tweaking it more specifically for construction niche and needs, which is awesome. Like really people are seeing what was been in that McKinsey report for years about how far behind the innovation is construction and all these other industries. And there's so much of this tech sitting out there. It's just taking the people to sort of bring it across and tailor it. Like there was something I was trying to find it before this, but I don't know if it's like a 40 pics product or it's like a camera. You walk around site and it's creating this like point cloud imagery of what you're seeing. And I know there's ones where people take them around buildings, but the level of detail in like 2 years, how that's increased is incredible. I remember looking at that, getting it done on our sites. And, it's quite faint. Now, this thing's like clear, you can read writing and just that, which has come across from another industry and now is providing results in construction is incredible to see.
Yeah, we went really deep on the advancements in the like Gaussian splatting stuff with the ability to like take like this video and just get this like fully immersive environment is pretty impressive. And that is also like super performant in terms of like being able to use it and see the output on a device. So I think I'm probably just going to riff off the back of what both of you have said. I think it is definitely clear that after a number of years of maybe 2 years of somewhat of like a technology, not recession, but fairly quiet in the world of investment in software companies, that's like ripping back in a big way. And the volume just appears to just keep getting turned up around the world. And this year there's been a ton in construction technology. We've talked about them on the podcast. Carlos's favorite, Document Crunch, Planera recently. VisiBuild from Australia raised last week another, I think, 6 million Aussie. And so I think that's going to mean that next year it's going to get like kind of noisy again. I think there'll be a lot of like overlapping pitches and the space gets kind of like messy. But a lot of those companies are going to spend a lot of that money and deploy a lot of that money over the coming year. And I think once you get through that, it starts to look like some of the winners will really emerge and some of the others might, I don't know, fall away or need to regroup or whatever. But I think, yeah, we're probably in for kind of like a messiest year in terms of like positioning, competition. It'll be quite like hot. And then we'll see what happens after that. I've just made 2 predictions. So let's go to predictions. So 2025, Carlos, what's your big prediction? What's the thing that you want to be measured against come the end of next year? for construction.
Well, I did have a few notes
industry.
around this data center boom and the small nuclear reactors that they're planning to build. There's a big gap in between this massive rise in data centers, but they're not going to be ready for a bunch of years. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they deal with that energy demand. Yeah, just due to the volume that they require to keep going. 2025, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the US. So they're talking a lot about sort of inward investment spending within the US. So you would expect to see a bunch of major infrastructure schemes coming out of that because it's a good way to pump up the economy and promote American jobs and everything that comes with it. And it will also be interesting.
What is the actual prediction? I feel like, I don't. What is the actual prediction? I feel like you're just saying what would be interesting. You've got to put a prediction on the line that's like this is something contrarian, something bold, and that you can be measured against, and ridiculed for.
Nice. I haven't really quantified anything back to a number, but I think the energy consumption, the spend related to producing energy for data centers will outgrow the actual spend on data centers.
Ooh, okay, there we go. Yeah, for sure, right? I think that's surely that's true. All right, so nice one, mate. Thanks. No, I wasn't being. That sounded like I was being like.
That was the most sarcastic.
No, that was good. No, that was actually good. You that was that was good. That's either like. I guess I categorize it in the space of like, of course, like that's either definitely going to happen and or it's like totally out there and it's never happening. But yeah, I don't know. Sam, prediction, mate, hit us.
I think 2025 will be the year that we, like, at scale, a large number of jobs will get replaced by AI functions, and it'll be heavy in the news. So it won't be at the moment. I think it's like they're talking about it and drifting around. I think next year it's going to happen. It's going to happen quick, and they'll start this whole conversation around the ethics around it. I'm not putting any numbers around it. That's just
that's good. That's
the prediction.
Yeah.
Customer support. That's the hot tip. No, yeah, I think. Well, I had a prediction that was around the power generation nuclear thing, but Sam's kind of put a decent one out there. So I'm gonna flip mine on the fly, and I'll almost go counter Sam. I reckon 2025 is going. There's a good chance that it's going to be the year that the development in AI models underwhelms predictions. So I think the velocity will slow, and they'll kind of hit this alleged wall that everyone's talking about in model advancement. But I think it will be a year of still working through the current functionality that could make a huge impact if we integrate it into applications. So I think even if you stopped advancement today, there's a heap of stuff that could totally change what people do on a day-to-day basis. But I think it's the year that like model advancement slows.
A little zag there. It's good.
Yeah. I'll say that. That'll probably age. That'll probably age like a fucking banana. That will.
You got to put some numbers on it, mate.
Yeah, it'll be the. I guess it'll be the year that we're talking about. We hit this wall. The wall's coming. We hit the wall in terms of underlying model advancement. Righto. So behind the scenes in every one of these episodes over the last 2 years, there's been someone toiling away in the bowels, like shoveling coal into the machine with the steam whistle, and that's producer Olu. And producer Olu comes out of the bowels of the machine once a year to run the Christmas quiz. So welcome. Well, first of all, congratulations and thank you to producer Olu. And welcome, mate. And please take us away in the Christmas quiz.
No problem. I'm actually quite interested by what you said about the reduction in AI potential, AI modeling, because Google just announced that they've just released their own quantum chip. And I'm wondering if that in itself will be a catalyst for better AI models going forward.
He told me my prediction sucks immediately.
He's already doing it.
It didn't even last the fucking episode.
It was like, what was it? 15 decillion times quicker than the next quickest or something.
Yeah. It'll do in, I think, a couple of minutes what the world's number one supercomputer will take, like million, like, yeah.
It was like 17 septillion years or something, I think it was.
Exactly.
So we
Which
can
is
replace
like
Jason
25
with one of those.
zeros. I think it's like 17 with 25 zeros or something.
Awesome. So, yeah, this is a little quiz that I've put together. Last year, we did something very similar, but we focused on the podcast episodes themselves. This time, instead of looking inwards, we're looking outwards within the context of the podcast to the construction industry, as well as construction tech as well. So you've got 13 questions. They're all multiple choice. You each get a point for every correct answer. And yeah, we'll tally up and see who gets bragging rights for this year.
How do we
Is the 13th
answer?
question because it's coming out on Friday the 13th?
Yes.
Okay, you weren't, but we'll go with it. Go with it. Yeah.
I'm just going to cut that section out so no one knows.
How do we answer, Ollie?
I'll give you a little bit of time to deliberate, and then you can tell me your answers. I'll make a note of them. After every question, I will list what the correct answer was. Try to give a little bit of trivia, if I have some, about that question. So
Stephen Fry, lovely, cool.
if we're all ready, let's get going. The first question is, on a somber note, we've obviously talked a lot about ISG and the insolvency that happened in the UK, but on a wider scale, over the course of the year, how many insolvencies have been declared in the UK? Is it A, 5,891, B, 973, C, 2,645, or D, 4,690?
The answer to the first question is never A or D, and B
It's always
seems
C. I guess
too low, so it's going to be C, yeah.
C.
And what do you believe, Sam?
D.
D.
Ooh, that's a big
Oh.
number.
Sam is the only one to get that question correct. It is, in fact, D, 4,690.
Good
So
guess.
So you didn't prep the first section, but you did your research, Sam, did you?
That's it.
Sam loves a quiz. That was the
Shame.
message I got back when I asked if he wanted to do this. So
Where do you get this? It's never A or D on the first question. Where does that come from?
It's not. It's the
Right.
psychology of...
It's never the
always
biggest
be somewhere
number.
in
It's
the
never
middle.
the smallest.
Do you know?
That's ridiculous. So 4,690.
I'll give you the trivia bit though. So just on the Friday the 13th theme, 4,690 divided by 365 means that's about 13 firms a day bankrupt in the UK.
What's defined as a firm though? Is that like
This is like
me as
how do I
a
answer?
contractor, like as single person? That couldn't be true. That's ridiculous.
yeah, it is quite a lot. Apparently, that's a
Alright.
53% increase over the last 5 years. And
It still seems like just a absolute boatload of them.
right. Yeah. And the construction industry is the worst hit for this type of thing, accounting for 17.4% of the UK's insolvencies.
Carl, so I don't know how much of this is because of like the, like when they brought in like IR35 and all like the individual contractors had to go back on the books or whatever, the amount of winding up of like individual one person companies. I reckon that's like a lot of this is just one person.
Yeah, it's really difficult to be inside IR35. So yeah, you're probably right there where there's a load of people going full time and sacking up the company. Yeah. Hopefully that is one of the reasons.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for that. Question 2. We all love concrete on the podcast, as we've talked about it numerous times. But on average, over the course of a year, how much concrete is poured in the UK? Is it A, 800 million tons, B, 2 billion tons, C, 90 million tons, or D, 38 million tons?
What is a
Sam, what do you
ton of
reckon?
like
I'll
a
do
cubic
those.
meters?
I guess A or C. I could be B. We'll go A because he's crazy over there. Go A. What do you reckon? Surely no one's going to go 2 billion. That's nuts.
I'm going D. I reckon he's doubled down on the D's.
Yeah. To try and visualize it, how many tons is like a cubic meter of standard concrete?
Hold on, come on. You're a fucking quantity surveyor. You surely can't be anything.
I can't. I'd rather know how many cubic meters
on
it is.
LinkedIn. How many
2 billion,
how many
2 billion
cubic
tons
meters
is like,
concrete?
that's a lot of concrete. I'm gonna
It's
assume
all of
he's
them. I'll give you a
rounded
tip.
numbers.
They're all a lot of concrete.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm gonna go
2.4.
with
So
D.
it's like you're at 300 million cube of concrete.
I'm gonna go C because it won't be D again.
Carlos is indeed correct. It is C. 90 on average, 90 million tons gets poured in the UK every year. In terms of cubic liters, I was struggling to get you the actual unit measurement, but that translates.
Concrete in cubic liters.
Yeah,
That's
well,
a-
Meters.
I cubic. Well, I did cubic liters because of the fact that I wanted to tell you. That is 37.5 million cubic liters,
I
which
can see it
translates to 15,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
And how many
Easy.
teaspoonsfuls is that?
Can you do that by wagons? Divided by 9 cube.
Goodness me. Moving on. Number 3. We spoken to a number of people in the construction industry, both in the UK and in Australia. How many tier 2 contractors do you think there are in Australia?
Sounds like a fluid list. But
Yeah,
building.
super full list. You can measure,
Yeah,
you can
it
measure
is.
this list in liters, I think, in cubic liters.
I'm gonna go.
All right.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
go with
All
37
right.
though.
You're going to go with
Building
B.
and infrastructure.
They all seem too
Like,
low.
No, I reckon A.
I'm going
No
C.
question,
I'm going
Sam.
C. I'm going C again.
This might not be factually correct.
It won't be.
I
But
will-
it's
Oh,
a
what does
guessing
Ollie
game.
think the number is?
Yeah,
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 I'm gonna
yeah,
go- Ollie
yeah.
thinks it's 37.
Yeah, you have to get inside my mind then.
If you say D, I'm calling bullshit, and we'll move on.
So what are people's guesses?
I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going C again. I've just guessed C every time because you'll be right
I'm going A.
eventually.
So Sam was the correct one in this case. I did an extensive
Wow.
search round and I couldn't get a.
You've done the most extensive ChatGPT search you could possibly do. Come on.
No, it's your,
Are you
it was
sure?
your, it
Are
was
you
your
sure?
favorite. It was your favorite. Actually, it was Perplexity, Jason, and I got 25 as the number.
How do they categorize tier 2?
Not tier 1 and more than tier 3.
They
No, they're
they categorize tier 2 as contractors that start to specialize in specific areas of construction.
That's nice, isn't it?
That's
Some of the top tier 2 contractors being Seymour White, Georgiou, Wattpac, Winslow, and Deck Mill.
oh, that
Sound a lot
checks
like
out.
tier 1. Yeah.
That checks
Right.
out.
How much of Australia's total GDP does construction contribute?
B.
It's
That was a quick answer. B. Jason, what do you think?
well. Should we read out the answers? A is 36%, B is 23%, C is 10%, and D is 6% in a classic
gonna go-
descending order.
I'm going to go C.
Yeah, C it is. If you go C eventually, it'll be right. It'll be 10.
That is correct. C is the right answer at 10%. Construction contributes a gross added value of 150 billion Australian dollars to the economy. And it's estimated that every $1 million of construction activity actually results in an additional $3 million of activity in other industries, just to underpin how vital construction
Like utes
is.
and boats and holidays.
yeah. Flat screen TVs.
Yeah.
I assumed it would be higher just because there's not really like a finance industry which normally dominates most major.
No, we got
economies,
mining.
but-
Yeah.
Conversely, in the UK, how much does the of the UK's GDP does construction contribute? Is it A, 19%, B, 7%, C, 4%, or D, 13%?
D, 13%.
The answer is actually B.
Wait, Sam hasn't. Oh.
That's fine. I was
Sam
going to
said
go
A.
D. It's going to go down the ship with you.
I
No
thought I
score
heard
for
Sam
Sam.
say
That's
D.
harsh.
It is in fact B.
Oh, what?
Yeah, this number, the 6 to 7%, has stayed the same since 2013, with a gross added value of around 108.7 billion pounds.
It's smaller than Oz.
The number seems smaller, but if you do the conversion, then yeah.
Different
but
currencies and such.
Going into 2024, what was the global construction market valued at? Was it A, 4.3 trillion, B, 15.4 trillion, C, 10.8 trillion, or D, 7.2 trillion in dollars?
I'm going to go D.
B for me.
The only way I can win now is to be right when you're wrong. So I'll go C.
The answer was B, 15.4.
Wow.
Yes. China, I think we discussed this on the episode. China.
Yeah, I'm
makes
pretty
up-
sure we've given this stat before, actually.
Yeah. And I was seeing if you'd remembered. China's industry accounts to $4.8 trillion of that 15.4, which is making up almost a third by itself, which is
Cool.
mind-boggling. Which multinational contractor has won the most work in 2024? A, the China State Construction Engineering Corp. Is it B, Hochtief? Is it C, Larsen & Torbro? Or is it D, Vinci?
I'll go A, China State.
I'll go Vinci.
I'll go Larsen and Torbro.
Ooh.
The answer is, in fact, A, with the China State Construction Engineering.
Big comeback on the way. Big comeback coming. Big comeback. Kick, you good thing. Kick.
What is currently the most expensive active construction project in the world outside of NEOM? Is it A, the Chuo Shinkansen, which is a high-speed rail project in Japan? Is it B, the Zhong'an New Area, which is an economic city project in China? Is it C, the California high-speed rail going on in America? Or is it D, the King Abdullah economic city in Saudi Arabia?
I'm going to go with B, the Zhong'an New Area.
It makes sense if China's spending the most. I'm going to go D just to keep it interesting.
I'm going to go with B, just based on Jason's previous two answers being right.
Oh, he's hot. He's hot. Back there. He's got a hot hand. He's got a hot hand.
You are all incorrect. It is
California.
actually C. Yes,
Yeah.
California high-speed
It's
rail.
like 150
Labor
billion,
costs.
I think.
The latest estimates at around 128 to 133 billion dollars.
That was my second. That was my backup option, but I thought you put a sneaky big China one that I'd never heard of in there.
With
It's not a project, is it? You just made it up.
Yeah.
but yeah, the original price tag for that project was $33 billion. So that's not a small increase.
Sounds familiar.
Moving on to technology. In the first half of 2024, how much money do you think was invested into the contech space? Was it A, $2.1 billion, B, $1.8 billion, C, $1.2 billion, or D, $3.4 billion?
I'll go C, 1.2 billion.
Yeah, C.
I'm going to go with A.
Sam and Jason are correct. $1.2 billion is
Hot hand. Hot
Right.
hand.
Good
answer.
guesses, guys.
Helps when I read that about 20 minutes ago. Yeah.
One of the largest rounds of funding was made by Hammertech, where they managed to raise $70 million in Series B funding, which is
Go Aussies.
so. We've spoken a lot about Procore, especially with Groundbreak happening a couple of weeks ago. How much do you think the company's currently valued at? Is it A, $11.9 billion, B, 15.3, C, 9.4, or D, 22.1?
22.
I reckon 11.9.
I'll go B.
Jason is correct. It is 11.9.
It helps when you looked that up 2 weeks ago.
They experienced a 24% revenue increase as of Q3 this year, so they are not doing badly. We've spoken a lot about companies buying
Whoa,
other
this is
small
pretty
offerings.
neat.
Bentley is definitely one of those companies, but how many products do you think they actually offer? Is it A, 93, B, 55, C, 77, or D, 84?
Based on their
A.
website, I'd say more than all of those.
This is based off their
I'm
website.
going to go
so
A. Yeah.
I'll go D, 84, because I think it's a round number.
you're all, in fact, incorrect.
77.
It's 77.
Oh, yeah.
Can you guess the software by their tagline? Empower your team to map, measure, and manage their reality with survey-grade accuracy. Is this A, HoloBuilder, B, Trimble Sight Vision, C, Propeller Aero, or D, Drone Deploy?
Drone deploy.
I'll go propeller because of the survey grade reference.
I'll go Trimble Side Vision.
Jason's correct again. It is Propeller Aero, who we've spoken to earlier this year. And then for the final question, can you guess the software by their tagline, helping projects prevent delays to stay on schedule? Is it A, Outbuild, B, Visaline, C, Afex, or D, Fieldwire?
I'll go A, Outbuild. No, D, Fieldwire.
I'll go Outbuild.
I'll go with Jason.
Sam is the only correct person
Whoa.
in this answer.
Was that the decision maker? Was that the tiebreak?
Possibly.
That might have done it.
Looking at the answers, it is looking like Jason just edges Sam out by 2 points.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And Sam just
Jason.
edged out Carlos, yeah?
No, that didn't happen at all. You'll be wearing the dunce hat. But yeah.
Righto. Thank you very much for running that, Ollie. Thank you very much for everyone that listened in the year. Carlos, do you want to read us out one last time for 2024?
Absolutely. No, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning into not just today's show, but every show over the course of this year. Please do think about following us on your chosen podcast platform or liking the video that you're watching. We really appreciate your support. And we will see you at some point in January/February.
Or March.
Have a great Christmas. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.